This is pretty obvious. On the scale of life's challenges, being a parent ranks right up there.
This is true. And when there are multiple children in a family, it can feel downright impossible to handle. This is also true. New this morning, John Shumway went looking for some words of reassurance from an expert. It is one of the, if not the toughest job in the world, I have to say.
No question about it. You can relate to this guy right here. I mean, nobody looks happy in this picture. Parenting is a constantly evolving game. And while we may love them, sometimes finding the right balance with your child can be tough. Children are like snowflakes. No two are alike.
Each kid is different. Each one has their own temperament, their own personality, and their own style. And some may be more responsive to one way of intervention, and some may be more responsive to another way of intervention.
Child psychiatrist at AHN, Dr. Gary Swanson, says some kids will readily respond to direction and correction, while others might see it as something you never intended.
And some kids will let stuff roll off their back, and other kids sort of treasure it up and think about it, and it gnaws at them or bothers them. And that's important to recognize that.
They may isolate to get past the moment, and Dr. Swanson says that's not necessarily a bad thing, but there is a limit.
I think it's good to go back to a child at a somewhat later time and sort of say, hey, tell me how you're feeling. How did that go? Was anything about that bothering you?
But keep in mind, the siblings are watching.
I try and remind them that the other children need parental attention too, and you need to be mindful as a parent to be giving them that attention.
And just when you figure out how each child needs to be handled, they grow into another phase.
So parents are constantly needing to adapt their parenting style to the needs of their kid developmentally.
Dr. Swanson says spouses think teamwork.
You know, in a two-parent household, each parent has their own style, and sometimes one parent's a little better at dealing with one kid than another one is. There's nothing wrong with that.
Dr. Swanson says parents are always worried that they're ruining their child, but he says, neglect aside, most parents, well, they may not be perfect at it, but they're good enough to make a very positive difference in their kids' lives.
I know this, that children can be hard to read, and it's hard to get them to talk, especially when they hit adolescence, right?
Yeah, those middle school, high school years, man, that is very true, which is why Dr. Swanson says practice good communications with your child when they're wee little. That way they still feel like they can come and talk to you when they get older, and never dismiss their feelings like when I used to tell the kids, tell Oprah. Listen with empathy, not judgment.
You did not say that.
I
You're
did,
just
absolutely.
joshing.
Tell Oprah when you get older.
Tell Oprah.
There should be a hotline so people can call Oprah. Tell her.
Thanks,
All
John.
right, thanks, John.